Welcome to California. Everybody got gang signs, the popo, the nigga.
Bear with me, folks. I'm coming. Bear with me. I'm coming. Just got to get some things set up. Y'all know the drill, man. Come on, man. All right. We coming, Pope. We coming, Papo. We almost there, people. Bring this mic over a little bit more to me. It's loading up. All right. I think we can transition now. So let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's your boy MM2K back again with another game stream. We're doing it at 60 frames per second, 1080p, because we're doing it on Kick and YouTube stream. Thank you for joining us. Let me see here. Yo. I just want to make sure the chat is working. Okay, chat looks like it's working. We're good to go. We're only going to be in this screen for a moment. See if anybody will come in this early. I want to first and foremost apologize for the other day. As you all may know, my schedule is very, very, very discombobulated. My wife had major surgery. My son is going through a battery of neurological tests because of something that just came out of nowhere. And I started a new business amongst all this, or I didn't start one, but I decided to let myself be sucked into this business where I was supposed to just be an advisor, but now I'm a partner in the business. So, we went through the rigors of firing everybody that was there. And then me and the co-partner were taking care of the front level stuff. We're doing the work. We're basically doing the work ourselves. And we're going to be, until we get everybody up and running with new people. I have a problem. I do. I have a problem. I have a problem with money. This is MM2K personal. Just for a brief second, I have a problem with money. I do. And my friend knew that. That's why he came to me. Because I think anybody else would have just said, you know what, tough luck, brother. You've been blessed. You're making good money. He has great jobs. This is what he's doing is he's trying to keep up with the Joneses. All of his other friends have like businesses that they're running, two little side ventures, and he doesn't. And he's trying to keep up with them. And in the interim, I said to him, look, man, you've been blessed. I said, you don't have the time right now. I said, you really don't have the experience as far as like remotely handling employees. I said, I do. I said, but now's not the greatest time. And he like begged me and showed me, how much the contracts were that he would be giving up. And more importantly, how much the contracts would be that he was in line to be getting next. And I saw that. And I took the bait. First, I decided to become like a site manager for him, or an advisor. But as I talked to the people that were responsible for doing the work, and I looked at the things that they were doing, I went back to them and I said, we're better off just firing them, starting from scratch, rehiring, getting the adequate people in here. And all hiring has, I said, he's like, well, yeah, you are good at that. I said, okay. I said, man, I really need someone at a global level that can handle the administrative tasks of hiring people, making sure that the right people in the right place, and I can't do it. And so I thought about it and I said, okay. I said, if you're telling me that you need me to be a partner, I'll do that. So after going through the rigors, because there's just some business 101 things, maybe like when I've been thinking about starting like a little private channel where I just like get into like a plethora of different things, social things. And then me talking business stuff might be one of them. But as I was explaining to my daughter the other day, like I never enter a business where I am part of the business. Like I have a standing LLC as a buffer for any business that I get into. You know what I'm saying? So, because look, you can say that you're going to partner on things, and if you truly don't see, there's different things people say they want to partner with you on. Like if people want to partner with you on just splitting the money with you because you're doing the cost, if they feel that, then that's fine. But you're not truly a partner until you can equally veto, like other partners equally veto decisions. Like if a decision, like if my homie wanted to like paint one of the vehicles, the company vehicles, red, and we didn't agree upon an approval, and we had an approval process. Or we didn't agree upon approval process in painting the company red, painting the company vehicle red. He could do it. I mean, I'm partner, but it's his, but we don't have that structure. So you're not a partner. But if we sit down and we're saying, okay, this is each other's veto power or block, this is the agreement, the operating procedure, pretty much as it is when you're doing an LLC, when your veto or passing power has been established, then you're a partner, and it's being fully exercised, then you're a partner. And see, sometimes people say they want to partner with you, meaning they just want to split up the task and they want to equally give you compensation for the task that you're doing, but they don't want to give you decision power. And in order for you to get your proper decision power, you might have to give up money. You might have to give up compensation because they really want someone to help, get and help with the, what's it called? Like the way my current quote unquote partnership is set up. I'm way more compensated than an atypical partner would be, because my role has become vital in making sure that the company stays afloat. I've been tasked with personnel and doing some stuff in between that. You know what I mean? But if it was all about keeping the company afloat altogether and making decisions all together, like at the highest level, they wouldn't want me to do that. But I'd rather take the money. So to protect yourself from the decisions that may be made, that may put you in a particular situation, when I have those type of agreements where I didn't sit down with the person from the very beginning and structure this company, I'm an LLC. I'm like an LLC partner. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm an investing partner. I have, a certain percentage of voting rights. I have a certain percentage, but I get a certain percentage of compensation. And the difference in my voting rights, where my compensation may far exceed my voting rights, like when you're doing an LLC, there's still shares. I forgot what they call them. They're not actually shares. They're option, whatever you call them in LLC. So not a lot of times when people start their operating agreement, the LLC options and the shares and the voting rights have to be within a fathomable plateau, unless you write it in the operational agreement that, okay, this is not a normal member. This is somebody who has these lower end voting rights, but then they're also an advisor on XYZ. And so they're being compensated for their, for their advice, but we're melding it all into the role. We're not doing it as a, like an employee type thing. This is like melded into the role, which makes, the taxation on the compensation a lot more digestible. There's just a lot of things that are involved in doing it that way. So anyway, to make a long story short, my schedule is tied up. So when the smallest thing happens, well, I don't want to say the smallest thing, but when something happens that needs immediate attention, 9 times out of 10, I'm the fixer. And we ran into that situation the other day where something needed fixing, and I had to do it. I had to, end it abruptly. I think everything's at a calm right now. We got like probably a good hour and a half before I got to go handle business.
Area detected.
So what we're doing is we're doing the Hollywood Day 7.
Hey.
This is Day 7 that I'm doing this global event. And I haven't really even started earning any points towards it. So we're going to see what I can do in 7 days. 7 days. We're going to see what I can do in an hour. Or more if I get access to do so. We're going to see what we can do. I'm going to go here. Now this is supposed to be the electronic one.
So before they find it, go in, take them down, and get out.
Okay. Let's do this.
We think Black Tusk may be...
Detected protected hostiles.
This is the Hollywood one where they're like, you got to hit them with electronic jolts in order to affect them.
Removed hostile protection.
Okay, good. Yeah, all right. I did remove the protection. Damn. Woo. Woo.
Incoming backup request.
He's done.
Hostile protection restored.
Oh, the protection is restored. How? Damn. If I can just get him. So that didn't do it. I don't feel like I'm not doing this right. Holy cow. See, there's something I'm not doing right. Whoa! There's something I'm not doing right. I don't know. Oh! You know what?
Hostile restored protection.
What restored protection do they have? Woo!
Medical assistance.
I knew she was gonna hit me with that. What were they saying doing? Oh, hell no. Golly. They are working me over. How am I there's something I'm not doing right with this. Oh, Jesus. Woo! There's something I am not doing right when it comes to this. I'm telling you. I'll figure it out. Oh, God. I knew that was going to be a problem. Oh, and he got me. Damn. There's something I'm not getting right. Okay, let's see here. Let's go look at the event. How do I look at the event? Okay. Let's go get details. It says damaging shields, shielded hostiles with explosives, EMP damage, or any kind of specialized weapon causes shields. Any enemies eliminated in this way will drop special ordnance. Arm themselves with as many explosives as they can carry. All right, explosives. So I need explosives. And I don't know if I have enough in my inventory right now. What I did is I armed myself. See, you can't. I'm gonna have to go with that. Require, yeah, you gotta have certain specializations, which I think is stupid, in order to use certain. So I gotta go with the basic frag grenade. I don't have, there's not a lot of explosive stuff that I can carry. So we'll try. Not a lot of explosive stuff.
Gotta get that gun!
Removed hostile protection.
Woo! Damn.
Cover is inbound.
Get him. Woo! Now how do I miss that?
Hostile protection restored.
Oh, they give me extra grenades too. That's what's up.
I'll provide cover.
I gotta hit him with another shock joint. Damn it.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Oh man.
Agent deceased.
So that ain't working.
All clear.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah, I don't think that I have the right breaching. Okay, nah, I don't think I have the right. Sticky bomb, trap. Maybe seeker mine. Yeah, let's replace that with the seeker mine. And let's see here. I might have to change it up a little bit. No, okay, the seeker mine. What do we have in the seeker mine? Skill, haste, healing, damage. Let's see what else. Skill haste. 1 cluster. Okay, I like that. I'm probably gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my skills up a little bit. My armor goes down drastically too. Jesus. What can I do? Built here. Damn. Oh man, what can I do to get the skill tier up? Nothing. Just got to deal with it. We got to make it work. Okay. That worked out a little bit better. Okay. Woo! Now that definitely worked out a little bit better. Oh, they got more out here. Golly. Whoa. I might have been able to do it with the cluster. Get him. Oh yeah, baby. Woo. Oh man, these mugs is bugging.
Hostile restored protection.
Ow! Woo! Oh. This is bad. Oh, this is wild, son. No, I gotta get up here. Got him. Come on out. Come on out, Mr. Postman. Damn it. Come on out, Mr. Postman. Lee. You know what I was supposed to do? Damn it. See if it'll let me back up here. Let's do that. Oh! Come on!
Serious trauma detected.
Come on! Woo! It done got me! Damn it. Wow, bro. This is crazy. So I can't get none of these mugs. And it looks like those things don't attack machines. Oh man, this is wild. Nope, they don't attack machines. Damn it. There's gotta be a better variant. I gotta look at best, what's it called for Hollywood? Jesus. I had one. I ain't going far on this one, bro. This might be a waster. Till I find that right. The problem is I got a specific build that I'm trying to grow. God damn it. Here we go.
Vital signs critical.
Okay. All right, we reloaded, baby. Oh, I got you. Got you, brother.
Hostile protection removed.
Woo! Golly! Yeah, that was not what I wanted. What was that? These explosive rounds. Okay, so I got 30 explosive rounds now. So it'll be easier for me to deal with them. Hopefully there's more rounds like these laying around, man. I need them, shoot. I remember this place. I remember this place. This is going to be fun, I can tell. I got Mug's pulse. How do I miss those, man? Whew.
Hostile protection restored.
Not anymore. Woo, you gotta take your time with this, bro. Get these mother suckers. Woo!
Serious trauma detected.
Sending UAVs.
Get these mother suckers.
Detected. Heavy munitions.
Jesus. All right.
System curtailed.
See, here's where you need the what do you call it? That
System
same
back
element.
online.
Got it. Who's left?
Watch your lines of fire.
Woo. Let's get him. Let's frickin' sleet him. Got you. Damn.
Sending intro.
Heavy ammunition detected.
Woo! Cool, go around the corner. Go around the corner. Get him. Get him. Jump! Run for your life! Damn it.
Hostile
Oh.
restored protection. Vital signs critical.
You son of a chicken plucker. Damn it. You know what I'm gonna need to do? I hate to do this, but I have to. I really hate to do that because it doesn't give my what's it called, a chance to doesn't give that shotgun a chance to get better the way I want it to. Ooh, that was perfect the way I hit it the first
Removed
time.
hostile protection.
Deal with anything. I'm on the gun.
Where? Come on.
You feel that?
Detected. Heavy munitions.
They talk about heavy ammunition. What are they talking about? Woo! Oh, I did. I got one. Shocked 15 hostiles. Yeah, I had
Heavy
to.
ammunition detected.
So I got one. I got something. Look at that. Yeah, I had to change it. I had no chance with
Medical
this current
assistance
setup.
needed.
None whatsoever. I had no chance whatsoever. So, ooh, holy cow! While we're at it, let's talk some games, man. So ABK deal, which is sucked up all the oxygen in the room. I know you guys know where I stand when it comes to that deal. I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest Microsoft fan, let alone a fan of what the deal represents. Despite that, if the deal, in my opinion, was all legit, I would just say I don't like it, but there's not much that can be done about it. I don't feel that way. I feel like that the deal's a problem because there is some risk of foreclosure, but I feel like that foreclosure risk would be very difficult to prove. I feel like the biggest problem with the deal is the risk that it poses to cloud gaming, because what it's doing is essentially taking the biggest, Jesus Christ, it's taking the biggest game
Removed hostile protection.
that I feel would have an influence on the cloud community or those that cloud game, which is Call of Duty. Taking that, because whoever has access to the power of that franchise will have a large hand within the cloud community. It's a big game. I feel like CMA did their homework in determining that. They understand the importance of cloud gaming. Oh shoot, as a viable option. Even if it is a nascent market at the moment, they understand its importance. And they're not willing to, they're not ready. They're not ready to ignore that because it's not as big as PlayStation. So I think they were on the right track, and then they fell off. They buckled the pressure, which I work with. Well, I don't want to say I work with, but I deal with regulators at work. My 25 plus years of having to deal with them, I've never seen them buckle under pressure. None, like, they don't care about that stuff. And to see them, appear to buckle under pressure, that's alien to me. I've never witnessed that in my life. Very confused. I am very confused. That being said, they did it. There's no getting around it. They're looking to strike a deal with Activision Blizzard and Microsoft, what it appears to get the deal to go through. We're going to see how successful they are in doing this in lockstep. I think the reason why that the cloud gaming portion of it did not, or met the standards of improper business is because it was totally designed. These deals were totally designed to disrupt the market in a way to where the competition couldn't compete. They couldn't get a stranglehold. They didn't say we're going to put out superior product ourselves. They said we're going to we're going to absorb any companies that could viably assist
Removed hostile protection.
these that could viably assist our competition in being able to compete. We're going to set it up to where they cannot even compete in this space. They will not get a stranglehold in. They said that. I mean, their intent was very well known. Phil Spencer repeatedly saying, I can't sleep at night feeling
Hostile
like,
protection restored.
what did he say? I can't sleep at night knowing that Stadia, Google and Amazon will be in this game. Like they're like Microsoft is the regulators. So now they must jump to action to stop, Amazon and Google. It was just so apparent why they've done the transactions they did, the impact that it had. I just feel like that the entities that were arguing against the deal, Cold Blood, what's going on, brother? I just feel like that the entities that were arguing against the deal did not properly display the concerns. The problem, and there was, I think, a decent amount of info shared as far as foreclosure is concerned. Like, they first offered, it's right there in the deal. They first offered 4 years of Activision Blizzard games, and now they're only going around suggesting 10-year deals. Now, granted, PlayStation will be just fine without Diablo, you know what I'm saying, or Overwatch. They don't need those games. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to take essentially popular games and foreclose on their access. And these are popular games that normally were available to gamers everywhere. So what you're forcing gamers to do is go to an ecosystem that they really don't want to go to in order to play those games that they've been playing for decades. Right? That is not helping gamers with choice. That's allowing them a way to discount their access to it. But why can't you allow that way to discount the access and keep it elsewhere? It's the foreclosure that's the problem. So I think they did have a legitimate foreclosure case. They just didn't argue it. So now gamers are going to suffer because of it. Because it's not, look, I'm going to be honest with you.
Assistance needed.
Beyond Activision Blizzard being big get for Microsoft acquiring Activision Blizzard does nothing systemically good for gamers. It just doesn't. Yes, can you play Call of Duty? Can you play Call of Duty now in Game Pass? I'm gonna guess and say, yeah, it's likely. But the way I'm seeing these new business structures set up, maybe not. Maybe it won't be day and date. Maybe Call of Duty will be day and date. But most of y'all that are arguing for this deal don't play Call of Duty. So maybe what's gonna happen is Call of Duty will be day and date, but Diablo won't be, right? Because it seems like now Microsoft is making a money grab now. And we told y'all in 2023 that a lot of these deals that Microsoft was seeing, that they were offering, they were gonna stop offering it beginning in 2023. We're the only place that was telling you that. Because we said in 2023, Microsoft was looking like they were gonna, that the end game is that they felt like they would get their lineup bolstered by 2023. Now, by all intents and purposes, the original plan was to have their internal studios do it. But Microsoft is so piss poor in managing these studios and managing expectations that even with Bethesda, it wasn't good enough. So to save their plan, they got Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard fell in their laps. Because to be honest with you, they didn't know Activision Blizzard would even be up for sale. That fell in their laps. And that saved the day for Microsoft.
Vital. Hostile protection removed.
That saved the day for Microsoft. And that allowed their plans of, hey, look, what?
Deceased.
Now we're going to have granular games available in Game Pass. That was now possible with the Activision Blizzard deal. Cold Blood says, Phil about to have the payday of his life having rooftop parties with Bobby. He says the only problem is what is FCC going to do now if they want Take-Two? Nothing. I saw somebody named Ben on Twitter. This speaks to the naivete of gamers and why even when it comes to conversations, I've stopped like having console war conversations, or people have stopped having conversations with people in the console war, because even though it was good fun to just, you know what I'm saying, like what me and you do, Cold Blood, we talk ish, just barbershop stuff, talk ish, and you don't play games, Moss, and this, that, Cold Blood, you're always a cynic, and it was fun doing that. But in the barbershop, you will run into people that know what you're talking about. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna run into crazy conspiracy theories too, but you're going to run into people that have something important to say, and they know what they're talking about. Unfortunately,
immediate medical assistance needed.
In today's console war, it's not like the barbershop anymore. Everything is conspiracy theory. Nobody knows what they're talking about. Everybody's making up stuff. Nothing these people say makes sense anymore. It's not fun. I was having this conversation with somebody. It's not fun anymore because you don't get a little bit of education and some crap talking. There is no education anymore. It's just all ridiculousness. And everybody wants to be an evangelist marketer for Xbox. But this guy Ben, I guess he's a pro Red Dead person, right? So he was all for the deal, right? He was like, yeah, I want the deal, and this, that, and the other, right? So the funny thing about it is,
Removed hostile protection.
the deal goes through.
I don't have.
The deal goes through, right? And then the next talk is, well, Microsoft now can get Take-Two. And so he's like, hold on, Take-Two, which is the publishers for Red Dead. He's like, no, I don't want them to take Take-Two. It was cool for them to take Activision Blizzard because Activision Blizzard doesn't have games that they really... See, this is what I'm saying. This is the danger in all this. And this is the danger in Game Pass. And why I'm totally against it as a business setup. Oh, this must be new. I've never seen these sandstorms before. People were for this deal because they simply were interested in Activision Blizzard games, but they didn't want to buy them. So now they're like, oh, now Activision Blizzard games are going to be available, like Diablo and Overwatch. Well, Overwatch was free to play, right? I think it was. Diablo and Overwatch and all that other stuff. Now I can get access to those games without having to pay for them. I can just pay $15 a month and access those games. That's cool. Yep, let's put those games in Game Pass. Here's the problem with what you're proposing. What the goal that Microsoft is? Come on, what the hell? Oh no, 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 no. The fudge? What's wrong with? The goal Microsoft is trying to get at is they're trying to absorb everything that is popular because they don't know how to curate it themselves. They're trying to absorb everything that's popular, put it in Game Pass, and drive you to Game Pass that way. And then they'll loss lead, but then they'll force you to Game Pass. Because now you'll get to try all these AAA games at pennies on the dollar. Whether you like them or not. Here's the problem. When you start putting those AAA games day and date in Game Pass, something has to give. They have to be the cadence to keep the subscription service honest. Because the goal is, you don't want people to subscribe for a month and then let their subscription lapse. You need those people in Game Pass. You want them to stay in, forever. At least 8 months out of the year. You want them in there 80% of the year. So,
Hostile protection now removed.
so now here's what
Heavy
happens.
munitions.
So what happens now is because you were all for that to happen, every single AAA game that's going into this service is going to get watered down. If it's going in day and date, it's going to get watered down. It has to reach a cadence. There is not going to be an appetite for, we got to push back Diablo another year. No, just put it in Game Pass. It's a big name until they beat that down to hell. Then once Diablo becomes trash and they beat it down to hell, they'll just buy something else. They'll buy something else that's popular until everything is mediocre. And then when everything is mediocre, okay, well, that's the way that it is. Everything is mediocre now. So you ain't got to worry about anything being brought down. This is what you're going to get with gaming. It's literally set up with the failure of these regulators to argue these cases appropriately. What they've essentially done is they've set it up to where Microsoft in its failures to innovate, its failures to bring forth what they promise, its failures to produce widely attracted content. You've basically said, okay, you failed. You've come in last place. Here, the gold medal goes to you. Meaning, because you failed and because you can't give gamers what they traditionally want, we're going to make your failures the norm of the business. That's it. All you gotta do is have money. If you got money, who cares? If you have money, who cares? You got money. Buy this stuff that's highly acclaimed in name. And you can just run it to the ground until it's not highly acclaimed anymore. Look at Halo. Halo, Gears, and Forza. That's exactly what this regime has done. And it doesn't matter to them. They came into this generation saying that if we lose our way with Halo, we're done. We can't lose our way with, and they've lost their way with Halo. Nobody cares about Halo. Halo player count is now 98%. They don't care anymore. Why? Because they bought Bethesda. They can run them down. They can run down Activision now. So that guy Ben, who's like, no, don't do that with Take-Two. Shut up! You've already set the precedent. You've already allowed this. You supported it. You became part of the echo chamber that the CMA heard and decided to unwisely buckle down via pressure. Buckle to because of pressure. You did this. Shut up. Oh my God. Now I guess I'm supposed to shut up. Cold Blood said Ben is a certified clown. I don't know much about the dude. I've seen him here and there. I don't, but that is clownish behavior. It's totally clownish behavior. No. Don't buy Activision Blizzard. I mean, don't buy Take-Two. No. And Porter Rock said it correctly. You don't get to pick and choose. You gave the power to the Fortune 500 company. Now you lose. It's over. It's over. You lose. Only thing we can hope for is that
Now removed.
that PlayStation continues to make great AAA games on their own. That's the only thing we can hope for. Because you're not going to get quality consistently from Xbox. You're going to see a big name that used to be associated to quality, and it's going to become trash. And all of you that were hating on Ubisoft, you better, if you like Call of Duty, you better be thanking your lucky stars that Ubisoft is working on X-Defiant. Because that's going to be your reprieve from the crap fest that Call of Duty is about to become. See, this is what people don't realize. I like games like Diablo. That's about it. Diablo. Is there anything else from Activision? No, that's it. There's nothing from Activision Blizzard. Don't get me wrong. Activision Blizzard has a strong following, but it's not your average gamer. Like Diablo 4. Mike Ybarra, I think, did a great job in making Diablo 4 attractive to your average gamer. That's why I felt like that. I think Xbox would have been so much better suited had he taken in charge instead of Phil Spencer. But, it is what it is. But, yeah, Yeah, my thing is that, okay. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't. No. No, we didn't want Activision Blizzard to be blocked because I don't want Xbox to win. I don't care who wins. I don't care who wins. I want quality games. If there was a world where Microsoft can buy Activision Blizzard, become number one and outsell Sony 30-1, and Sony can still survive and they still have the incentive to survive and make games the way that they do, I don't care. I don't care who's number one. I want quality games. I want quality titles. You're not getting that with this deal. Now that this deal is passed, consolidation is going to be key. And the reason why people don't like consolidation is because when you have consolidation, things get run into the ground. They get watered down. Pressure is put on to meet some corporate quota, some corporate schedule. That's why we don't like consolidation. We don't like consolidation because we're part of the one. We hate the 1%. No, it's not. It ain't got nothing to do with that. We don't like consolidation because consolidation leads to the watered down effect of content because it has to become conveyor belt. And the biggest conveyor belt in gaming is going to become Game Pass. We've already seen the effects of it. They spent $8 billion on Bethesda. They went through their trash can, their trash receptacle. They pulled out Redfall and they put it on a date. And to sell you on it, they had the CEO of gaming come out and introduce that game. To get you excited for it. To what? Raise Game Pass subscriptions. If there wasn't any other crock of bull that tells you what you're in store for, I don't know what is. All right, we'll be back. We're gonna take like a 5-minute break. I'm gonna be playing this game until my business partner calls me and says, "Oh, yeah, man, y'all messed up, man. I really did." Make it a 10-minute break. I'll be back. It probably won't be the full 10 minutes though.
requesting backup.
All right, I'm back. Let's see here. Let me read my brother Cold Blood Sensei's comments. He said, Ben is a certified clown. He said, wanted this to be done earlier so we can get back to some normalcy, but damn, it's even worse now on Twitter streets. Everybody will talk about this deal. You know why? Because here's the problem, Cold Blood. The fanboys have taken over Twitter. I want to say 70% of the people on Twitter. No, I'm lying. I'm going to say 60% of the people on Twitter. No. I'll take that back. 50% of the people on gaming Twitter are Xbox fanboys. I'm going to say 30% are PlayStation fanboys, and the other 20% are you and me. People that may talk our ish, may have our preferences, but at the end of the day, anybody can get it, and we just want good games. You know what I'm saying? We're in the minority, and we've been outranked by the 50% who wants just anything in life to make Xbox look good. The other 30% who wants anything in life to make Xbox look bad. We're outranked. So that's 80% of the conversation and the dialogue right then and there being absorbed by rabid fanboys who on either side are consumed with Microsoft. The Microsoft fanboys that make that claim, they are correct. There are rabid PlayStation fanboys who all they want to do is they want to down Xbox. They don't want to talk about what PlayStation's doing, good or bad. They want to totally down Xbox. And the only time they'll bring up PlayStation is to stomp all over Xbox. That is true. Xbox fanboys are right about that. There are people out there, a considerable slither of the community that are like that. However, it's not everybody. And they outweigh those people. The rabid Xbox fanboy who is psycho. There's no other way to put it. So, because there's those groups out there, you and I get consumed with this when we want to talk about Starfield. What is that spec sheet? Remnant 2 is dropping, or other games. We don't talk about games anymore. People are now literally watching C-SPAN and becoming stenographers. Literally, people are now becoming stenographers for gaming instead of talking about actual games. And I get it. The ABK deal is a big ramification in gaming. That being said, the constant minute per second watch. I mean, we had people watching when Jim Ryan's plane was where it was traveling to. This is going beyond the point of absurdity. And a large part of it I blame Game Pass on, because what has Game Pass done? Game Pass has allowed non-gamers to gain access to gaming, a plethora of games, and now you just simply say, well, in my library, I've touched over 300 games in my library. I have over 300 games because of Game Pass. You ain't played them. You skim through them. You ain't finished the level. It gets exposed all the time. It gets, oh, that's my offline account. Or that's my online account. Right? That's my online account. Let's get back to the game. Yeah, that's my online account. Right. They don't play any games, man. He says, I'm tired of it. I've been telling you this. Well, I'm gonna tell you, dude, you're gonna be exhausted. It ain't going nowhere. It is not going anywhere, unfortunately. Because, like I said, you got 80% of Twitter obsessed with Xbox. Last place Xbox. If there wasn't this obsession with Xbox, then we wouldn't be here. And you got to blame the PlayStation community, the rabid ones there, because they are so hell-bent on keeping their foot on Xbox's neck that I think they inadvertently keep the discussion on Xbox 24/7. Now, granted, I'm not going to sit there and make it seem like we don't ever talk about Xbox, but we talk about Xbox in the vein of, can you do better? Like, there's only 2 providers of AAA games right now, from a console standpoint, high-end AAA games at that. It's you and PlayStation. And you're not doing your part.
Medical assistance needed. Agent deceased.
Like, can you do your part at least? That's what we're asking. And they don't. Now what they've done is they've taken games that have already been, that have been multi-plat for decades. Now they're closing in on them. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they didn't have to go this route. They could have very easily said, you know what? We want, they could have very easily said, we want to ensure that we got a plethora of big titles, exclusive, right? Not Bobby Kotick.
What?
His name not Bobby Kotick. Jim Ryan, excuse me, said it himself. He said, look, Microsoft could have got Activision Blizzard, could have got Call of Duty exclusive for 3 years for $5 billion. They could have spent $5 billion and got Call of Duty exclusive for 3 years.
Tango has me pinned.
You know how much that would, just that move alone would have helped Microsoft if they really were trying to compete? So it's not about competing because they got the money to do it. Microsoft just want they want to control this space. It's not that they want to be the best in the space. They want to control this space. And they did a power move to control the space. A power move that's anti-competitive in a lot of ways. It's anti-competitive because it forecloses on content, or it creates the atmosphere where they can close on content that generally
Vital signs critical.
was multi-plat and available to consumers wherever they wanted to play. Microsoft, I mean, they told you that the places that they have to play are inferior.
Agent killed.
Windows PC Windows Game Marketplace is inferior to the other stores. The Xbox console is inferior to the PlayStation console. xCloud is inferior to the other cloud competitors out there. So just waving your hands and just brushing off foreclosure means that you're okay with consumers being forced to inferior modes of play. And no, allowing these games
Heavy ammunition
on competing platforms, certain competing platforms, for only 10 years. That doesn't fix anything. Because it allows you again to absorb that ABK content and determine who the winners and losers are. Why is that power in your hands?
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Jesus Christ, they are kicking my ass.
All finished here. Return to mission.
Let me see what else Cold Blood has to say. He says, he said, oh, yo, Jonathan in the house. What's up, brother? He says, need answers. He said, Sony needs to answer fast, or all gaming news will be about Game Pass and COD, and it's damn boring. I mean, yeah, it would be nice if Sony responded, but I don't think they are. Look, the way that it is, like, the stuff that we heard in court is true. All this is going to do is make Game Pass the best game subscription model out there. It's going to solidify Game Pass as the best game subscription model, right? Even at a ridiculous overhead, because they're going to be putting these games in there day and date, believably so, and they're going to lose a lot of the revenue that they could be earning because of that, right?
Lead on target.
They got nowhere to go.
Hello. Give me cover. I'll get the gun.
And then,
Hostile protection removed.
and so because of that, PlayStation Plus is not PlayStation's main service, like how Game Pass is Microsoft's main service. So PlayStation doesn't care if Game Pass has more subscribers than the other. I don't care.
Protected hostile restored.
And when I say Game Pass, I mean the portions of Game Pass that allows, what do you call it? The portions of Game Pass where the subscription games are in, like the two tiers, the two top tiers, versus Microsoft's 3 tiers, console, PC, and Ultimate. They don't care if those tiers have more subscribers, because all Sony's going to care about is that. All right, how is our first tier or introductory tier? How is that stacking up? Because that's the biggest money maker for both of them right now. Is that introductory tier? It's going to be core and PlayStation Plus. It's not essential. Is it essential? Yeah. Those are the real money makers. So I don't think PlayStation really cares if the subscription model does better, because they're like, ours is going to do well enough to where we don't have to put our games in day and date in order for it to compete, because they're not going to do that. Damn it!
Killed.
They're simply not going to do that. I'm getting my ass kicked on this.
Return to previous tasking.
Yeah, so I mean, let me see here. Let me read some more comments. I said I can't even imagine why people could, what they could show to make people forget about that ish. Well, they're not going to show anything because, like I said, all it's going to do is get Game Pass subscriptions up. It'll somewhat get console sales up. I think what it's going to do most is on the PC. Most of those subscriptions is going to be on the PC. When you see these games underperforming, getting worse, not holding up the frames per second, because they're really now trying to operate best for the S. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a mess. Yeah, so you'll see some console sales increase. You will see Game Pass start to separate itself even further from PS Plus, because PS Plus was putting up impressive numbers. Those top 2 services are now at 14 million. So they were catching up to Game Pass. That was at 30 million. They were halfway there. You're going to start to see that separation. But PlayStation Plus doesn't care, because they're not making the investments in PlayStation Plus, and they're halfway. You know, I would guarantee you they're not making half of the investments that Microsoft is making for Game Pass, but they're making half. They have half the subscribers. You understand what I'm saying? And you could tell that whatever PlayStation is doing is more successful, hence why Microsoft now mimicking their models, right? Remember how everybody was saying, oh, PlayStation Plus was trash. Remember what what's his name? David Jaffe. Remember when David Jaffe was like, oh, and me and him was going back and forth, and he was like, oh no, PlayStation has to, there was an expectation, with day and date. PlayStation has to, PlayStation. And then the game, then the service is now halfway at where Game Pass is at. And they did that without having to do what Game Pass is doing. And now it's gotten to the point to where they were so successful at it that now Game Pass, the darling, has to mimic them. What type of ish is that? What part of the game is this? Who would have thunk? Who would have thought? What part of the game is this? Damn. Who would have thought? What part of the game is this?
Serious trauma detected.
God dang.
Agent vital signs 0.
What part of the game is this? I'm getting my ass kicked, bro. This is funny how not a single bot is talking about except Primal. Exactly. Well, they got this to talk about. This is a big time distraction because now, look, this is what you gotta understand. I've been talking to these bots behind the scenes, right? And I said, you do understand that even after Activision Blizzard is absorbed, that Microsoft is still going to be third place. And well, what does numbers got to do with anything? The numbers have everything to do with everything because most of y'all don't play Call of Duty. You're only celebrating these, like Activision Blizzard outside of Call of Duty makes popular but niche games like Overwatch. They're popular and stuff like that, but they're not games for the general populace, right?
Show yourself right now. I'll sweep left.
So
Right here.
when you are celebrating these games and then we go look up your hours on Overwatch and we discover that you don't play it, that you might play a little bit of Call of Duty.
Agent in need of backup.
When we discover that, then you gotta ask yourself, why are you celebrating?
Hostile protection restored.
Why are you celebrating this? You're celebrating it because there's more numbers. It's gonna increase stuff. So don't sit there and tell me, oh, we don't care about numbers. We care about games. You don't play these games.
Hostile protection removed.
You don't play these games. You're only celebrating it because you're looking at the numbers. And when you look at the numbers, even still, they're still not going to surpass PlayStation. They're still not.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
They're still going to be under PlayStation. So what are you celebrating? Is what I need to know.
Detected heavy ammunition.
Woo.
Vital signs critical.
Help me understand. What is it that you're celebrating? Coldblood says, from now on, I do the same with COD games. What bots do. Wait for it to come to PS Plus or don't play at all. Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, if you don't like the deal, then yeah, just you got to speak with your dollars. You don't like what's going on? Yeah, definitely speak with your money. But the thing I just find comical is that they're so quick to celebrate Call of Duty, a game that they don't play. And then when you point out to them, oh, even with Activision Blizzard, Microsoft is still going to make less money. Weren't you listening to the court case? Didn't you hear Satya Nadella mention that? That they're still going to be the number 3 publisher? Huh? You don't remember hearing that? It's comical to me. I find it funny that they celebrate the numbers, but then when you tell them the actual numbers, they don't want to celebrate them anymore. You guys still aren't going to be number 1. Well, it's about the great games. What great games? You don't play them. These are not the games that you play. What are you celebrating? And then that's where you get to the crux of another group. Well, you get to try them. Ah. So you want to see a platform be put into a subscription service day and date where where even the CEO of the company told you it's not worth doing it. Nobody wants to do it. You know there's going to be a cost reward, meaning you're going to have to give up something by putting that game in there. You know there's going to be a negative trade-off. Yes, Call of Duty will be there, but will it be Call of Duty? And the answer is no. But you don't care. Because Xbox gets a win on Twitter. So who cares if gaming gets destroyed? Xbox gets a win on Twitter. It's crazy. But that's where we're at right now. I mean, I get the cloud community. And I know I've been vocal and critical there. I get the cloud community getting excited for this deal because the cloud community just wants access. They feel like, look, all we got to do is get access. Once we get access, we can show everybody that cloud gaming isn't to be sneezed at. And once they prove that, then they feel like they're in like Flynn. I get why the cloud community wants these games.
Serious trauma detected.
For the life of me,
Heavy ammunition detected. Protected hostile restored. Removed hostile protection. Vital signs critical.
I get why the cloud community is in for this deal. It's granting them access. And that's all they want is access. I mean, again, and a lot of the community there
Serious trauma detected.
is not that astute on the ins and outs of game making. They're not. They don't understand what's involved. They weren't there at the. I'm not saying all, but most of them, they weren't there at the midnight releases. You know what I'm saying? Or they haven't been in a long time. They don't understand what's going on in the fight for the living room and all that stuff and all the dynamics that have changed gaming and help solidify what works and what doesn't as far as bringing great content. And then a lot of them just aren't that picky. They're not that picky.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Prime example. I'm sorry. No, this upsets people, but there's a lot within that community that feels that Redfall is just fine. And within itself, like the game, no price associated, just the game itself. Okay, I've played worse. But when we look at it at the lens of how it was promoted and the genre it aims to serve, this is a AAA $70 high-end. Oh, Jesus. I almost had them too. It's a AAA high-end genre-defining game. And at that realm, at that token, you know what? Let me get out of here because I'm getting my ass kicked. As far as AAA genre-defining high-end games are concerned, it fell flat. It fell flat. Okay, so have you guys ever there's this thing called Zipcar, and I don't think it's around anymore, but remember Zipcar? Zipcar was that thing that allowed you to go and rent a car, pretty much. You know, you just rent a car for about an hour or something like that. You go to a Zipcar site. You know, they were all over the city, or Zipcar might be around, and maybe they're just not here in Pittsburgh anymore. But you go get a Zipcar, you know, to go grocery shopping or whatever, do whatever you need to do. Bring the Zipcar back to a specific site, right? Okay. Look, say if you're just trying to you're just driving around and you're just going grocery shopping or something like that, right? And I don't know, Prius will do the job for you, right? But let's just say if you're going on a night on the town or whatever, and you know, now granted, the Zipcar logo's on the side of the car, but let's just pretend if they weren't. And you were going out on a night of the town, and you were you know, you extravagant date, you needed a car, you know, to pick her up, your car's in the shop. You know what I'm saying? Y'all dressed to the T, y'all going to a 5-star restaurant, all this other stuff. And you pull up in the Zipcar, a Prius, right? No. You can go get an Infiniti or something like, you know what I mean? Show up in that, pull up, have a good date. When the situation requires more, you understand that, okay, in order for me to get this top of the line experience, I have to sacrifice or put in top of the line equity. in order to get this top of the line experience, right? I put in the top of the line equity. If I'm putting in top of the line equity, but I get bottom barrel experience, that is a problem. So for those of you that don't gauge things from a top of the line level, it doesn't make you any less of a gamer. It just means that the things that you're looking for aren't as focused as other gamers. And that's okay. Just like, look, when you go get a zip car, you just need wheels, man. But if I'm getting a zip car because I'm going on a date, my car's in the shop, I can't get a rental, big time date, going to a big time, what's it called? And instead of me paying the $10 an hour like you do for your Prius, now I'm paying $80 an hour because this is a higher end car. I am expecting a higher end car. So that's why if I'm complaining about you making me pay $80 an hour for the Prius, but you're okay with the Prius because you just want wheels, this discussion isn't for you. That's the thing that the cloud gaming community has difficulty coming to grips with, is that just because you press buttons and go pow, 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 every discussion isn't for you, because as a cloud gamer, your litmus, your scope is in a completely different atmosphere than mainstream gamers. It's not that yours is worse and theirs is better. It's different. So you got to appreciate that uniqueness and that difference. And no, for a high-end, AAA high-end gamer that is looking to pay $70 for that, and don't say, oh no, why would they want to pay $70 for that game? Because it's advertised as a high-end AAA game, and maybe I don't want to play it at 30 frames per second. So I'm going to go buy it on PC. And if I'm going to go buy it on PC, which is my right, because again, you have cheap options, and your cheaper options do give you a minimum experience, and that's fine for those that want it. You have this game available on Steam, which is very well a high-end option for PC gamers. It's available on Steam. So if I make an a la carte purchase on Steam, I'm getting the best representation of this game on PC, right? Okay, so if I'm dropping $70 on this game, which you are allowing, I am expecting a nice wax clear coat for my $70 an hour purchase, gas to be filled. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when I go play this game at the premium level, because I don't want it just available, I don't want just wheels. I want it at a premium level. You should give it at a premium level because you're charging a premium price. There just are certain things that are not acceptable. Like I go pick up that zip car and I pick up the Prius, and I'm just going to Food Lion or King or whatever food restaurant you have in your area. I'm just picking up food. Okay, fine. It's a little bit, the car's a little bit dirty. I mean, the back end was a little bit dirty. The gas wasn't filled. You know what I'm saying? Got a weird smell in the car. This is something, just a tad. You can spray something in there, right? It's okay. It's not the end of the world for what you're looking for. However, I'm looking for a more high-end experience. I paid high-end money. There should be a high-end version, high-end offering with that high-end price that you're asking. If you can't supply that, then there should not be a high-end ask or a high-end price to this. Meaning, Redfall should not be $70. Redfall is a $30 game. There are a lot of great games. Trepang is one of them. My homie Sean, we a couple of RP. There are many $30 games that are phenomenal because the standards have been set and you know what you're getting. But and it's not like you can't enjoy a $30. Look, some of my favorite games have been like Van Helsing. I love it. If you haven't played those games, get the Van Helsing games. Those are great. Some of the best games I've played in over a decade. But there are times to where I want a game that looks and feels at a certain pedigree. The atmospherics, the engrossment that it brings you in. That even as much as I love Van Helsing at $30, it can't do that for me that a high-end game can do. There are certain particulars that I'm looking for that only high-end games can provide. So when I'm putting that $70 down, that's telling me that you're attempting to provide me that high-end experience. Now, it may fall flat, and that's okay. And that's where our different tastes can fall, you know, and whether it was a worthwhile effort or not. However, there are certain standards to that. So therefore, Redfall is not just fine. Redfall is fine for a Game Pass game, but altogether it's not fine. Because what you're telling us by charging $70 is we got this high-end game that we're willing to give you at pennies on the dollar. That's the value that's supposed to be added. Again, even so, Game Pass is not supposed to be demographic exclusive. It's supposed to have something, a little something for everybody. From the from the indie gamer to the high-end gamer. So when you tag a game a certain way with a certain price and consider it AAA, you are now telling me, the high-end gamer, look, without you spending XYZ money, you can still get this experience. Our subscription service is for everybody. Here's the problem ongoing. Now you've set that precedent. You've had the CEO come. You didn't have to do that. You've had the CEO come out and represent that precedent set. You did that for your $8 billion purchase. What do you think they're going to do for their $60 billion purchase? Derek Strickland, and I'm going to pull this for what's the name podcast this week for NRO podcast. Derek Strickland of Tweaktown, far from an Xbox hater, said that look, a lot of people need to chill out on the acquisition talk. Microsoft doesn't want to have to go through this again, which I feel like the precedent was already set. So if they go through this again, they might just get away with it a lot easier. That being said, or if they don't try it, somebody else will. That being said, someone said it's not even about Derek said it's not even about the regulators. They spent more money for Activision Blizzard than they're going to get back for the next 5 years. They are not going to recoup their money for Activision Blizzard for 5 years. It's going to take them 10 years. Because Activision Blizzard, I think, brings in what, $8 billion a year? Or $7 billion? 7 times 10 is 70. Hence why they probably are like, look, we're going to give you 10-year deals. Because that's how long it's going to take us to recoup this money. But once we recoup this money, all bets are off. Everything's exclusive. That's probably the mind state. But Derek from Tweaktown, Derek Strickland from Tweaktown brought up a very excellent point. They're not going to be making hand over fist with this deal opposed to what they paid. So that means that they're not going to be pouring a whole bunch of resources into this. No. They trying to recoup that money back. So there's going to be a balance to how much they put in versus what it's doing for Game Pass. That's the state of affairs that we're in. Sean L says here, let's go back to what the hell happened. Sean L says, hold on, let me, if it'll let me get to the comments. He says, y'all kicking it over here. He says, nah, they will compromise every platform just to get it running at an unstable 30 frames per second. I'm kind of disappointed in the cloud community because they shaft xCloud, and I almost wanted to break my ish when I tried to reason. Yeah, this is hard for me to say, but it's the truth. Y'all know I'm very transparent. A lot of people look at me and they say, MM2K, you abandoned the cloud community. You did it for clicks. You want to belong to the PlayStation group, blah, 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 blah. Here's what the cloud community doesn't understand. And it's okay that there have now been this diversion from me and what you're looking at. I still support cloud gaming. It's still my number one way to game. I still feel that it's super important. I will continue to support the cloud gaming community having their own hub to discuss and congregate and go over cloud gaming related topics and to talk general gaming topics. However, since the closure of Stadia, what the cloud gaming community is directly championing and the things I'm looking for have diverted. Doesn't mean that I don't support what they're looking for. I may not agree in totality, but it doesn't mean that I don't support it. I am a big time gamer with a capital G. I grew up with all types of gamers, and I appreciate everybody's unique element that they bring to gaming, and I love it. I love the diversity of thought, and cloud gaming in that community is going to usher in the next chapter of gaming. It's just at this moment, we don't agree on every aspect of gaming. Not a problem. Doesn't mean that I abandon them, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people have suggested MM2K, they don't, a lot in the community don't agree that 60 frames per second is important, or fidelity is important on Stadia, and Stadia slacking off. You need to drop Stadia and do something else. And no, we may not agree on that aspect. We'll argue those points, but overall, I still support Stadia because I feel like Stadia is great. It isn't just something that's important for the community. It's something that I feel is great. I still feel cloud gaming is great, and it's my number one way to play. I wouldn't have it any way else. As much as I love PlayStation, I couldn't imagine that being my only way to play games, because of the level of fidelity, power, and mobility that, for instance, GeForce Now provides. So because of what I just said, the PlayStation and Cold Blood can tell you the PlayStation community ain't even thinking about me. They don't want nothing to do with me. They hate the prospects of cloud gaming. They hate it. They feel like it's some agenda that Microsoft pushed, and then here comes Stadia. And PlayStation gamers, for whatever reason, they feel like they're gaming purists. That whatever they like or dislike should represent all of gaming in the gaming archives and the gaming scrolls. They are totally against cloud gaming. Totally. You don't see them promoting it at all. Whether PlayStation has it, they don't promote it at all. Well, you'll hear Some Xbox gamers talk about xCloud even though they're afraid to show footage. They'll talk about it. PlayStation. So my infinity for cloud gaming, the fact that I put it over PlayStation, eliminates me from any possibility of being even dapped in the PlayStation clan at all. That's why I hammered that in the last month when I was starting to hear rumblings again that was the MO that people were trying to associate to why I was saying what I was saying, because it comes from a place of ignorance, because of the cloud community's lack of saturation in this area, because of the time they've been here. A lot of them just started gaming again in 2019, or just started gaming period in 2019. There's a whole back history that you just don't understand from a high level. And I was addressing the ignorance of that. You don't have to like what I have to say. You don't have to agree with it, but don't be ignorant towards anything, because as a community that as a lighthouse that people are going to look to usher in the next era of gaming, we want that lighthouse to be correct. We want the path shown to be correct. Okay. There's nothing more important than accuracy in the information that you cascade. We all are going to make mistakes. We're all going to get things wrong, and we're going to do it inadvertently. But when you just don't care about what you're saying because you want something to happen or you want something to be right, that is careless and negligible in so many ways. So I was addressing the ignorance behind that. But to your point, Sean, I'm not a fan of xCloud at all. I mean, the reason why I have a problem with xCloud is because all these promises were made, and promise after promise has been derailed by Xbox. Does Xbox have to have the best fidelity? No. Do they have to have a la carte purchases for everything? No. You know what I'm saying? Do they have to have the best dongle or box or whatever for streaming? No. But there are so many promises that were made, so many things that they've hyped, and for them to be the bottom at some critical places, I feel like it's unacceptable. Does it mean that I want them to go away? No, I just simply want them to get better. To get better. That's it. Now, a lot of people may want them to get better too, but they feel like some people feel like criticism means that you can't. Criticism is a 1v1 representation of being totally dissatisfied, and that's not true. You can criticize xCloud and still be totally happy with it and be like, look, it's doing it for me for gaming or whatever, but there are these things that they need to improve so the platform becomes better. That's why I criticize Stadia in those core things, 60 frames per second, and certain things, Stadia Pro, some Stadia Pro games not having 4K. That, to me, that was a no. And if you have a rare situation that calls for that, you need to explain it to the consumer. If you can't criticize the thing that you adore, you are a fanboy. Because nothing's perfect. If you can't criticize it, you're not helping it either, because you're not helping it grow and mature from the things that it's not doing right. As I want people around me. That's why I like diversity too. I want people around me that don't agree with me, so I can get a well-rounded sea of thoughts. Because there could be a way that I look at things that may overlook something. I had a discussion, I want to say about a month ago, where it was, I was looking at something a certain way. We had a vigorous debate about it. And I said, now that I think about it, you put it that way. Okay, great. I wouldn't have had that understanding and understood the importance of that had I just had a bunch of yes men that agreed with me on that. And it would have been to the detriment of the community. you can't have this siloed approach to everything. And to me, it's just not fruitful. And it's not helping anybody. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help anybody. So yeah. Let me see here. Light machine gun. Then shotgun. Okay, the shotgun is totally maxed out. What's this? Bigger than standard pouch that fits only. Bigger than standard pouch that fits on any belt-fed weapon. I don't care about that. This generates 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Okay, is there anything else? What is this? Every 5th reload now. So what I need to do. All right. Okay. Well, that's it for now, folks. I think what she says, did you see the BG3 shade from this weekend? CRPG developer sneak this. Who's CRPG? Yeah, who's CRPG, Sean? I don't know who that is.
Weekly medical checkups are compulsory.
So didn't Mike Ybarra say Diablo 4 ain't happening on Game Pass? Yeah, he said that. And that's what leads me to believe that we might, with this new restructure, just the wording. Now, I could be wrong. The wording is like new games. They didn't say, all Microsoft games, but new games will come day and date. So I'm thinking that you might start seeing some games that won't come day and date. And I'm thinking Diablo might be one of them. I'm thinking. I could be wrong. I feel like Call of Duty would be as cannibalistic as that would be. I feel like for Microsoft, Call of Duty has to hit Game Pass. It just does. And they just have to cut corners elsewhere to support the cannibalism, which that's going to be huge. But being able to say you can get Call of Duty day and date in Game Pass, that's going to be phenomenal. And let it be the expansive pack. Oh, that's going to be phenomenal. That's going to be a big draw. So, I think in return, you're going to have certain games that will not be in Game Pass day and date, or certain versions won't be in Game Pass day and date, like the deluxe versions. There might be standard versions, and if you want the deluxe stuff, you still got to pay for that. They might settle for that. But, oh, excuse me. All right. Well, that's it, folks. Got to get ready for quote unquote work. We'll wrap later. See if we'll be able to do some stuff tomorrow. Maybe, maybe not. But again, expect if I can't do a mic check tomorrow, we definitely because I don't go into work on Fridays. Expect a NRO podcast. All right, with that said, peace to everybody. Have a wonderful gaming day.